This is Mariana's Press, journalism by journalists, with you at the center as we cover the news and sports stories here at home and across the region. Fact-driven, multimedia, truthful coverage. What is your vision? Where are the limitations? Where are the boundaries? Online at marianaspress.com, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and WhatsApp as it happens.
I'm out of here. I'm sorry, I'm out. I don't want to tolerate this thing anymore. This is too much.
We ask the hard questions.
What about those who say, our economy
It's an
is
instant
down?
gratification to us.
We practice responsible journalism, taking local coverage to new heights, powered by you. This is Mariana's Press, where every voice finds its story.
I have something directly for you because you talked so much about respect in your opening speech, because I really appreciate these opportunities when you have your subject matter experts come in, and it's a great way to better understand what's happening and talk to the leadership. But there is a huge gap between what your leadership is saying and what your service personnel on the ground are saying. And I think you should know that, because if you, and I have many times, I've lived on Tinian for 4 years, if you ask people at a fiesta that you meet casually about, say, biosecurity, they say, oh, it's just a matter of time. You better enjoy the birds while you can, because snakes are coming to Tinian. If you ask about the beaches, they say, oh, enjoy. I'm so glad I'm here now, because if I was here in 4 years, whoosh, beaches are going to be terrible. So it's a little bit hard to bridge the gap between what leadership is saying here in terms of the care and respect that they're going to give the island when the folks representing your organization are saying the opposite. So I just think that that's something that you should know. Obviously not something necessarily related to the EIS, but I think it's reflective.
My name is Schneider. I see some overall differences in the first time you all were here, the CJMT. The original was massive and it was extremely scary for some of us. The impact is incredible. We didn't truly appreciate the impact until now, because we see what it means to us every day and what it means at a personal level. So we had a little bit of taste on it, from sudden increase of people, sudden increase of cars and bicycles and whatever. I can't believe that the bank ran out of cash. I said, how can banks do that? I thought you keep a lot of money there. But you understand the point that I'm trying to make is that when we see things in papers, because we are not as exposed to the rest of the world, Tinian is by golly one of the best kept secrets. So, many times we have a hard time trying to understand what does it all mean on a daily basis. I live pretty close to an area where they were digging the aviation fuel. I just did not realize that they were going to make an incredible amount of noise. So I'm out there saying, shut up, and try to take a nap. But you see what that disturbance does to the people. We have ample time, of course, to make the changes, but we could never visualize it because of the enormity and the complexity of all the issues that's associated with this project. So that's the overall. Now, we are now inundated with MITT, MERC, CJMT guys, and it's piled up on a weekly basis. Last week was a presentation of progress. This week we have to revise, and then there's another one tomorrow. So we don't do anything other than read. That's a lot of imposition into our lives. And yeah, we do have a lot of things to say, but generally, I would like to see an extension of this timeline. We don't have, other than the library, we just the organization in which I belong to, we offer translation to people. And they can write it in tomorrow, and we offer to translate it in English. But we need a place, and we are looking for that place to provide that service. So when you do something like this, it has to come ahead of time with the translation version. And please use the CNMI or founder-free rules, because we can't read Guam tomorrow. They're very, very different. And we always call each other, what are they trying to say? What is this? So please communicate with us in the lingo in which we are familiar with. So overall, that is, I've seen a lot of changes, and it would be nice to have a smaller group discussion on this. Thank you.
It's been a long ride. 10 years. I was here. That night, the majority of our people, especially our kids, came out here and said their piece and said what they perceived back then. Fast forward, at that time I was a congressman. 2 years, 3 years later, I became mayor. We engaged then, and we're still engaging now. It's not an absolute. This love that you see is not absolute. We have the opportunity to engage. We have the opportunity to sit down and talk about it. And that's what we've been doing for the last 8 years. And I offer my sincere appreciation to the team, Jackie, and your folks from DC. Ambrose, it's been an honor to work with you and be involved with this CJMT. The first thing when we met, when I became mayor, was 4 things that I expected from your folks. Don't mess around with our environment. Give opportunity to our folks to get hired, also create business, and just be honest about it. That's why I asked. So far, as far as I know, we've been upfront. We've been having meetings all the way up to the governor and some state science high officials. And we made in our statement that as we move forward, even though we resign some of this record, it will come to record decisions. Some of these things we need to mitigate as we move forward. We just go back and look at divert. We signed off on that. We thought everything is sweet by candy. And then now we still have problems. Now we still have situations in the build-up. So I asked again. I made the same ask that as we move forward, give also the municipality the opportunity to mitigate some of these issues that we because like what Florida said, this is a complex build-up and you cannot really foresee how is the shooting range going to look like, you know? I cannot. I've been to shooting ranges in Guam that you guys we went and saw it, but visualizing is not there for me. But I hope that people that are here tonight is engaged thank you guys for coming out and having the time to come and engage with all of these things that's going to happen to our island. It is not meant for the leaders to have all the solutions. We need your inputs to all of these issues so that we can properly address it to them. And thank you again for this.
Hafide, Tiro, welcome. It is night 4, Mark Rabago and Tomas Manglona. Night 2 for Saipan, but night 4 for the public meetings for the revised draft EIS for the Commonwealth Joint Military Training Plans. Tomorrow it will be on Rhoda at 3 p.m. at the Rhoda Mayor's office. We'll be there, weather permitting. I think it'll be okay. This is your last chance, at least in person, to meet the experts and talk with them about this revised draft EIS. Again, a different iteration because of the public input from a decade ago at this point. And we're seeing more people come in from different from the previous night. First night on Saipan was yesterday, but again, 2 nights on Tinian first. So you can see some new community members around the room, talking with the experts, learning about the proposed action, which includes information on this board over here, the Marine Corps having their plans for 2 live fire ranges, 13 landing zones, aviation training on Northfield, aircraft shelter, biosecurity facilities, ammunition holding areas, surface radar towers, training support facilities, and repurposing the existing communication towers at the global media sites on Tinian and Saipan. And so you can see it is raining out there. I was talking to one of the organizers, perhaps a smaller crowd tonight, but officially it's 5 p.m., so that means it's officially starting. Again, we're not going to get in the way of the public. This is for them to learn and give feedback, but we are going to line up some interviews for you from the past, for those who have attended and gone through all of these posters. Again, this is a live look at the Crown Plaza Resort Saipan. If you haven't had the chance yet, or even if you came yesterday, come back again. There's accepting public comments in many different forms. And so for now, we'll leave you with these live images, and hopefully we'll see you down here and we'll have a conversation with you about what you think about all of this. So thanks for joining us again. Mark Rabago and Tomas Manglona reporting. We'll see you here in a few minutes. This is Mariana's Press, journalism by journalists, with you at the center as we cover the news and sports stories here at home and across the region. Fact-driven, multimedia, truthful coverage. What is your vision? Where are the limitations? Where are the boundaries? Online at marianaspress.com, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and WhatsApp as it happens.
I'm out of here. I'm sorry, I'm out. I don't want to tolerate this thing anymore. This is too much.
We ask the hard questions.
What about
Some
those
say
who say, our economy
It's an
is down?
instant gratification to us.
We practice responsible journalism, taking local coverage to new heights, powered by you. This is Mariana's Press, where every voice finds its story. Hafaday, good evening again from Crown Plaza Resort Saipan on night 4 of the revised draft EIS CJMT public meeting. Night 2 for Saipan. It first started on Tinian with 2 nights. You're taking a live look here at the room as people start to trickle in. And now we're joined with Mr. Mark Hashimoto, the Executive Director for Marine Corps Forces Pacific. We interviewed you on Tinian. It's your 4th night. Tell us just what has been the feedback? What is the pulse of the community that you're hearing so far?
Okay, 2 success criteria for us for all the nights. We want the public to come here, learn more about our proposed action, and we want their input based on their understanding of what we're planning to do. So every night, I think, has been getting better and better, and we measure that by more and more comments. There's been a lot of conversation. People have been hanging with us for a long time, engaging with our subject matter experts, and we measure our success by the more input that we get. And I think that's been on the upswing every night. After we get done every night, our team gets together. How can we do this better? How can we set the room up better? What worked? What didn't? How can we improve the flow? And therefore, how can we get at our 2 objectives, which are that the public understands our proposed action better and they provide us with input for the formal record.
I know in your speech every night you mentioned the 14-year-old who spoke up about the plans and changing the islands. I'm curious if you've had any conversations this week that have struck you. Anything anyone has said to you that you've kind of held on to this week, or any common theme you've been hearing?
I don't know if there would be one that was as that stood out as much as that one did, because I think we're in a completely different place. So the vibe was different back then. And so while there have been people who have expressed significant concerns about a variety of topics, I think part of the credit to our team is that we brought people who can address it. Again, we just haven't dropped something on people and then it comes to as a big surprise, and we let them know that we're still in conversation with them. And again, I keep going back to this, we need their input. We need their input for the formal record in the form of written or spoken comments so that we can act on them if we can find a solution that, like I've been saying every night, that we can find a way to get to a place where we can have a world-class training area, that can essentially work for everybody.
And you were here last night. There were about a dozen or so protesters from different community organizations. I know on night 1 we asked you about your response to a separate protest, and you said, of course, you support the First Amendment peaceful protest. I mean, what would you say? What would you say to those protesters?
We appreciate the fact that they're respectful, and I think they understand the real purposes of this meeting. Again, make sure the public gets as much information as they possibly can about our proposed advanced training area on Tinian, and number 2, provides us with usable comments for the formal record to make the draft EIS better when it comes out in its final version. Those are our 2 objectives, and those are the 2 objectives that we support. So we expect to see them again tonight, and we're very polite. Please have some food, walk around, talk to our folks.
All right, and 2 more questions. They have to deal with what's next. And so you're heading to Rhoda. I understand it's a bit of a smaller group. What's happening on Rhoda, and I guess why is it a smaller group, if you're able to share?
We did similar meetings in August of 2023. Same 2 nights on Tinian, 2 on Saipan, and we also did 1 on Rhoda. So we're going to be at the mayor's office in Rhoda, I think at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Yes. And this is based on our experience when we came here a little less than 2 years ago, that we think that was about right for the turnout that we expect to see. All
right, and then that will be the final public meeting this time around.
So what happens in the next month, the next year? Can you just explain that to the public who might be wondering what happens with the comments, and then like where does this go? Is there a third draft or is it final?
Okay. The publication of the draft EIS on June 6th started a 75-day comment period. We're more than happy. That's quite a bit longer than normal, but it's indicative of what I've said is that we work collaboratively with the public. We're not trying to rush anybody through some things or through anything, and we know that probably there's never enough time to consider every possible thing for every possible person. But at the end of that 75-day public comment period, then we take a look at all the comments and we figure out, okay, which are the ones that we can actually take action on, because what we would love to have are comments of things about we didn't think of that, and it's actually going to make our proposed action better. So those would be incorporated into a final draft, and then the publication of the final draft is followed by a certain period, and we have been saying for probably several years now that we anticipate that this all culminates with what's called a record of decision, and we have always been focused on the scheduled record of decision in May of 2026. So this being June 2025, we still got a ways to go before we come to anything that provides us, with that would essentially make us compliant with the National Environmental Protection Act.
And just to set expectations, this is pretty much the last public meeting that will happen in this fashion, or is that wrong? Or
we will evaluate that, and based on the comments that we have, we'll sort that out. But I wouldn't rule it out necessarily. I wouldn't promise that we'll necessarily do that. But we want to move forward with the process, and if that's warranted, then we'll see what we can do.
Okay, and sorry, last question. I should have asked it earlier. We have met some people who say 75 days is not enough. One person yesterday commented to us, if you work a full-time job, that alone, don't even rope in family responsibilities after that job, that it's not enough time to read, right, the 1,000-page plus documents. So, what's your response to them? Was, we heard that on Tinian, and we did hear it here that, working people, family people want more time. So what would you say to that?
Well, I'd say, Tomas, as a young person, and this is somewhat off topic.
Okay.
Do you use artificial intelligence?
I do. Are you suggesting they put it through ChatGPT or?
Not to make them make up their minds, but I think there are tools out there now that are readily available and free that can help people in all sorts of endeavors kind of comb through large amounts of information and zero them in, especially if you're doing the prompts correctly. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. It can really zero you in, and we find that as we try to, whatever we're doing in our endeavors, if we're trying to process a lot of information, we find tools like that to be very useful. I'm not saying that it's a substitute, and anything, as you know, that comes out of a large language model has to be verified, but at least it can give people a start to know what they should look at.
And I guess also coming down here tonight, if you're watching this, that's another opportunity to get the summaries right going around. Okay, I just want to open the floor. Anything else you want to say? We'll be following you to Rhoda, and so we'll see you there too. But anything you want to let the community watching online know?
Thanks for everybody who's come out. We really appreciate that. Put your input in. We need it for the formal record. We want the final EIS to be the best document that it can be, and that can only happen if the public participates in this process.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Hashimoto. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah,
right.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, thank you so much. That was Mark Hashimoto, the Executive Director for Marine Corps Forces Pacific, and you heard him there. He didn't rule out more public meetings, so that is still a potential, I would say, based on that, right, Mark? It was. He did say that they would consider if that was something that is a need. But this is the last night for the EIS public meeting on Saipan this week. Tomorrow it goes to Rhoda. And so we're going to be live all night, so you can watch and hear what people have to say. We're going to check people who've watched, who've been to all the presentations and asked them for their opinion. We have at least one person who said she's willing to talk already. So we'll leave you with these live images, but thanks for tuning in, and we'll have the full report. And you can watch all our reports actually from the past week on marianaspress.com. So we'll leave you with these live images. When we come back, we'll have more community reaction.
This is Mariana's Press, journalism by journalists, with you at the center as we cover the news and sports stories here at home and across the region. Fact-driven, multimedia, truthful coverage.
What is your vision? Where are the limitations? Where are the boundaries?
Online at marianaspress.com, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and WhatsApp as it happens.
I'm out of here. I'm sorry, I'm out. I don't want to tolerate this thing anymore. This is just too much.
We ask the hard questions.
What about
Some
those
say
who say, our economy
it's an
is down?
instant gratification to us.
We practice responsible journalism, taking local coverage to new heights, powered by you. This is Mariana's Press, where every voice finds its story.
If you're just joining us, a group of protesters, appears some of them who also attended yesterday, are here on night 2 of the public meeting for the revised draft EIS for the CNMI Joint Military Training. You're taking a live look here of the protesters who just entered the room at the Crown Plaza Resort Saipan on night 2 of the public meetings. Hafa, if you're just joining us, you're looking at live images inside the Crown Plaza Resort Saipan, where protesters have entered night 2 of the draft EIS for the Commonwealth Joint Military Training. We are expected to speak hopefully with some of them and also other residents who are going through the different poster boards tonight. Again, night 2 for Saipan, night 4 for the CJMT. We started with 2 meetings on Tinian, which we were at, and then we're going to head over to Rota tomorrow. But again, if you're just joining us, wanted to give you these, explain what you're seeing on the screen. We're going to unmute until we interview other folks on camera. But for now, thanks for joining us, and stay tuned. We'll be live all night.
Children have been murdered. I support free speech, but maybe because this is the second time comments, but shouting, no, please, Kevin, I'm conflicting na, kasi nyo tayo no sa, ng pareho na todo ni, kupenda ko na todo, okay? Ng pareho na todo sa, kasi nyo ta fanal ko sa magpunta sa respeto, sa iyo ako fanal na bitaw sa respeto, debi na, Monica, ito na bulan space in uso, sa kwentos ka na uso, esta lo wa malagong, Jogi ako maturo malagong, lo, kasi nyo, tingnan na babito ni Pagi, dokumenten to sa tisinya mo, pues togya te ganun eh. So pega sa masay, lo mga man yang isalo. Sa tisina No, nga masama ito sa tiwak sito. I know the things that's happening. At kung ito, advocate to, to Lilian to, when I was fighting for the stop the bombing in Noos, I didn't.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
So mga ni comments again. No, I know.
And we're here now. We're here today, and that's what matters.
Yeah. So
We're here today, and that's what matters. We're here today, and that's what matters.
Is he over there on the ancient remains? I didn't see any of it, but it's okay. I understand. No, dito tanaw ng respeto. Sa itawang itano, the whole world is looking at us. Ugo free speech is our background is journalism. So we honor free speech. But Christianity is very contained. So you can put up your signs and say what you want, but mga man isalo. Okay? Por favor, ufafaisinan. So mga man isalo. Sa tisinya man inunok, ufafaisinan question, a very critical question. Sa itanota, kung manasebi. Anomta, itasi, ibuyan, itano, kutsino itano, o kekit sa kita nagoskas. Lo, tisinya paisano, ito ko inepti, i-answers, ang maniesalo, Sa makasa, 2 días siya, we don't have time to ask them. Por favor, from Portesa, to kwa, lo mga manisalo, mga maikumutin, so por favor, manmulikin na tao. Ito nga di malok. This the 500 years matugi. Espanyol sa nga naman molikin na tauto ng kahit respeto eh. Janti man iisitani. Lo, tinisaro ta fanisalo. Okay, sa kung makapatao mo. The fantasy. Wala man ako kung mag-agig mo. Si Jesus Masi, kung fagadisi. Wala ka may
Hafa day, everyone. If you're just tuning in and joining us, you're taking a live look at the second and final night of the public meeting for the revised EIS for Saipan. It continues tomorrow on Rhoda and started with 2 meetings on Tinian. Just wanted to give you a bit of an update. As you can see, some protesters are here and they've been chanting throughout the time that they've been here. And we're seeing more people come in to engage with the DOD. And we're talking with folks, some who don't want to be interviewed, so of course we want to respect their requests, and so we're going to see if we can get anyone else to speak with us on camera about their experience and what they have learned here tonight, what they support, what they don't support, what questions they still have. And so if in the meantime, we'll go ahead and show you this video from Tinian that was on the first night of the EIS, which took place there on Monday.
I have something directly for you because you talked so much about respect in your opening speech, because I really appreciate these opportunities when you have your subject matter experts come in, and it's a great way to better understand what's happening and talk to the leadership. But there is a huge gap between what your leadership is saying and what your service personnel on the ground are saying. And I think you should know that, because if you, and I have many times, I've lived on Tinian for 4 years, if you ask people at a fiesta that you meet casually about, say, biosecurity, they say, oh, it's just a matter of time. You better enjoy the birds while you can, because snakes are coming to Tinian. If you ask about the beaches, they say, oh, enjoy. I'm so glad I'm here now, because if I was here in 4 years, beaches are going to be terrible. So it's a little bit hard to bridge the gap between what leadership is saying here in terms of the care and respect that they're going to give the island when the folks representing your organization are saying the opposite. So I just think that that's something that you should know. Obviously not something necessarily related to the EIS, but I think it's reflective.
My name is Schneider. I see some overall differences in the first time you all were here, the CJMT. The original was massive and it was extremely scary for some of us. The impact is incredible. We didn't truly appreciate the impact until now, because we see what it means to us every day and what it means at a personal level. So we had a little bit of taste on it, from sudden increase of people, sudden increase of cars and bicycles and whatever. I can't believe that the bank ran out of cash. I said, how can banks do that? I thought you keep a lot of money there. But you understand the point that I'm trying to make is that when we see things in papers, because we are not as exposed to the rest of the world. Tinian is, by golly, one of the best kept secrets. So, many times we have a hard time trying to understand what does it all mean on a daily basis. I live pretty close to an area where they were digging the aviation fuel. I just did not realize that they were going to make an incredible amount of noise. So I'm out there saying, shut up, I'm trying to take a nap. But you see what that disturbance does to the people. We have ample time, of course, to make the changes, but we could never visualize it because of the enormity and the complexity of all the issues that's associated associated with this project. So that's the overall. Now, we are now inundated with MITT, MERC, CJMT guys, and it's piled up on a weekly basis. This last week was a presentation of progress. This week we have to revise, and then there's another one tomorrow. So we don't do anything other than read. That's a lot of imposition into our lives. And yeah, we do have a lot of things to say, but generally I would like to see an extension of this timeline. We don't have, other than the library, we just, the organization in which I belong to, we offer translation to people. And they can write it in Chamorro, and we offer to translate it in English. But we need a place, and we are looking for that place to provide that service. So when you do something like this, it has to come ahead of time with the translation version. And please use the CNMI or founder-free rules, because we can't read Guam Chamorro. They're very, very different. And we always call each other, what are they trying to say? What is this? So please communicate with us in the lingo in which we are familiar with. So overall, that is, I've seen a lot of changes, and it would be nice to have a smaller group discussion on this. Thank you.
It's been a long ride. 10 years. I was here. That night, the majority of our people, especially our kids, came out here and said their piece and said what they perceived back then. Fast forward, and that was a congressman. 2 years, 3 years later, I became mayor. We engaged then, and we're still engaging now. It's not an absolute. It's not that you see. It's not absolute. We have the opportunity to engage. We have the opportunity to sit down and talk about it. And that's what we've been doing for the last 8 years. And I offer my sincere appreciation to the team, Jackie, and all folks from DC, Admiral Chamorro. It's been an honor to work with you and be involved with this CJMT. The first thing when we met, when I became mayor, was 4 things that I expected from your folks. Don't mess around with our environment. Give opportunity to our folks to get hired.
Well, good evening. Can you just state your name for the record?
Hi, my name is Angela Dela Cruz.
And what do you think about this public meeting today about the revised draft EIS?
I think it's a good opportunity for the public to come here. I like their setup today. What I'm used to is like presentations, and then you can get to ask questions at the end. But I think it's nice how they have their posters all around and they have designated people that you can come to and ask questions. But yeah.
Generally, were they able to ask your questions and to answer your questions? And what were your questions, by the way?
Yeah, so what intrigued me is they have a poster on the military lease area range complex, Some of my questions were they have like different ranges for where they're gonna have the different kind of ammos. I just wanted to know how it was gonna impact our fishermen. So one of my questions was that is it gonna be closed for long periods of the day, which I learned that they were just gonna close it for a couple hours during the day. So there's still an opportunity for fishermen to access the area when it's not going to be in use. But I think that was my main question for today. Yeah.
Do you have other concerns about the draft proposal?
So far, I think no. I'm still reading it actually and doing my research. It's such a big document. But yeah, I'm gonna continue to read and see where I fall there.
What percentage do you think have you read through the document, by the way?
Oh, I've done like a lot of skimming. It's so big. Maybe I've only done like 15-20% of the document.
Okay. Thank you.
This is Mariana's Press, journalism by journalists, with you at the center as we cover the news and sports stories here at home and across the region. Fact-driven, multimedia, truthful coverage.
What is your vision? Where are the limitations? Where are the boundaries?
Online at marianaspress.com, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and WhatsApp as it happens.
I'm out of here. I'm sorry, I'm out. I don't want to tolerate this thing anymore. This is too much.
We ask the hard questions.
What about some say,
our economy
it's an instant gratification to us.
We practice responsible journalism, taking local coverage to new heights, powered by you. This is Mariana's Press, where every voice finds its story.
We'd like to say thank you for this opportunity to be in your community. Thank you for coming out tonight, taking the time, even though it's the weather is not the best. So we really appreciate you taking that time to learn more about the project, ask questions, and then make comments over at this table. So you have a bunch of experts here at each of the poster stations. I've seen them eager to engage with you and just give you as much information as they can. And when they don't have some of the information, they kind of kick it over to me and I try and answer. And if I don't, I try to refer you to someone that can get you the information ultimately. But we have a good team here and we're very thankful for all their hard work. But we're most thankful for being able to come here and just be in your community and take the time to really get down to the issues that are important to you, to make this draft EIS responsive to your concerns, to minimize and avoid as many impacts as we can. If we need to mitigate something in the future, we're willing to do that too. But it really has to come from you through comments and your concern. And what we've seen from last night to tonight is there's a good amount of concern and people are engaged, and that's a good thing. They were very engaged in Tinian, and when we go to Rhoda tomorrow, I know the Rhoda community will also have their questions about the proposed action. So on behalf of all of the Department of Defense folks and those even from CJMT that help us from the governor's office, we appreciate everyone's help. We have interpreters here, and we even appreciate and welcome our folks over here with all of the signs, with all of the messages that they have. We know those are important messages. Thank you for expressing those tonight. Thank you.
Okay, just for purposes of identification, what's your name, sir?
My name's Abid Salam C. Yunus.
Day two of the Saipan public meeting. What are your thoughts, and why is your group here today protesting?
Well, I just want to point out that there is a solid connection between what is going on here today and the atrocities happening in Gaza right now. In Gaza, every 45 minutes, a child is killed. And I just want to point out that this is a suicide drone that is being used in Gaza right now. They attach explosives to this and kill civilians with this. This is a quadcopter that is actively shooting civilians in Gaza right now, actively killing children right now. So to have these, to support using these death tools here on our homeland, tainting our beautiful image, I'm here to fight against that.
And then what's the reason behind the change of tactics today? While one of them was talking, you were also protesting. And then what's your reaction about Liana of Schneider coming up to you and asking for you to tone it down a bit?
Well, totally for someone to try and silence us, I think she needs to think about that. I mean, we're standing with the oppressed, the people who have no voice. To come here and ask us to tone it down, I think she really needs to take a look in the mirror for that one. And as far as changing tactics, they always change tactics on us. They write the rules. They, like, this is Ireland. How come we don't set the precedence for, if they want Ireland, we should say, like, you got to do this, this, this. But they set the rules. They say, oh, we're going to take your land, so we're going to do this, this, and this. Do you agree or not? And then, they set the rules, they set the laws. So changing tactics, that's what we got to do all the time. And we're trying to get them because they don't want us to speak publicly. They don't want to hear our comments. They're trying to silence us too. So they do these little one-on-ones. So we're just asking them to pass the mic, let us ask them publicly and they can answer publicly.
Okay, last day of the public meeting is tomorrow on Rota. Will you be expecting your group there too?
Hopefully we're going to have some Rota residents show up and fight for the homeland.
And can we ask about the, some residents have expressed the desire for an extension to the comment period. Is that something your group is supporting too, or?
Yes, because I believe they added some new stuff to the EIS and that requires an extension. So by all means, yes.
Any other specific asks? I mean, the CJMT, as you know, is a decade already in the making at least, and a decision's going to be made, right? So what's the best case scenario in your eyes?
No military bases here in the Marianas. No military at all. Want them out. They've been here since World War II, and it's been too long.
Okay, thank you, Salam. Okay, ma'am, can you state your name?
My name is Nick Flores, and I'm from Guam, but we came in here today to support these local activists and protesters and to stand in solidarity with them, and also to stand in opposition for these plans for the CNMI joint military testing.
What do you think about the public meeting since Monday, and what did you glean from them so far?
Well, in Guam, there are no public presentations, there are no town hall style discussions, and that really robs us of having really critical dialogue, hearing each other's questions and concerns, and of course hearing the responses. In a style like this, where it's a poster board sort of show and tell, and people are having these conversations are happening in silos, and it's a huge disservice to the community to not be able to also voice their concerns. And so what we noticed was that in Tinian, for a very brief time, they did allow people to comment, and that's very unique. They do not allow that in Guam, and they're not allowing it here. They're really limiting dialogue and critique that way, and it's also very culturally insensitive. It's culturally insensitive to a community of islanders that have been using, oratory and storytelling for communicating really important things since, millennia. But I find that it also oversimplifies and sort of glosses over the violence of what this training really represents. They're practicing war in the Marianas. They're using technology that is used to murder innocent civilians in places like Palestine, and they're also making war manufacturers wealthy in this genocide. This is a crime against humanity, and we must connect those war crimes, those atrocities happening in Palestine, to this military buildup here. And so we're here today to make those connections. We don't want people practicing war in our islands. This not only wastes a lot of money that could be going to support people's needs, it burns through thousands of gallons of fossil fuel, exacerbating the climate crisis. We are in a place that is a hotspot for typhoons, and the climate crisis is making stronger and more frequent. And so there are so many ways that this is connected. It's connected to our genuine security. Guam, the CNMI, the islands of Tinian, Saipan, have a lot of unexploded ordnance, a lot of incidents of contamination that have never been corrected, water contamination that has never been corrected. And how is this considered mitigation? And they're going to continue to allow for environmental destruction and the desecration of our homelands in these exercises. It doesn't make sense to say that they're making peace by practicing war, that they're making us more secure by destroying the environment. It doesn't add up. Just like it doesn't add up that the United States is funding and supporting a genocide in Palestine, and that's why we're making this connection. This is a problem of the military-industrial complex and imperialism, and it's only right that we as islanders come together. And as you can see, we have a lot of people of different ages. This is an intergenerational group. It's a very diverse group made up of Chamorro, Carolinian, and other folks who call the islands home. And it's amazing that these issues have united all of us. We're here because we care about our islands, and we want a world that's free of this horrible violence, free of this genocide, this apartheid, and this brutal occupation.
What are your thoughts about Ms. Liana of Schneider coming to you a while ago for the request to probably move your protest outside?
Well, that was the only request we've gotten, to move the protest outside. Nobody else has asked us to go outside, to hold our signs outside. We haven't been very disruptive. We've only had a few very short chants. We understand that she has very important questions, and we don't feel that our actions are preventing anybody from asking their questions. It is a shame that a microphone isn't offered so that everybody can hear her questions and the responses that she's getting, and everybody here gets a chance to also say what's in their hearts and on their minds. And so I understand she's very frustrated. I understand that she's been following issues of contamination in the CNMI for a while, and maybe we're all frustrated and we all have a lot of grief and anger. But we're all really here for the reasons that we want to protect our islands, and we want to see an end to war. That's truly it. We want to see an end to war, and every way that the war machine is grasping the planet.
Thank you very much.
This is Mariana's Press, journalism by journalists, with you at the center as we cover the news and sports stories here at home and across the region. Fact-driven, multimedia, truthful coverage.
What is your vision? Where are the limitations? Where are the boundaries?
Online at marianaspress.com, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and WhatsApp as it happens.
I'm out of here. I'm sorry, I'm out. I don't want to tolerate this thing anymore. This is just too much.
We ask the hard questions.
What about
Some
those
say
who say, our economy
It's an
is down?
instant gratification to us.
We practice responsible journalism, taking local coverage to new heights. Powered by you. This is Mariana's Press, where every voice finds its story.
you state your name?
I'm Liana Hofschneider.
And what do you think about today and yesterday's public meeting? What was the biggest takeaway you got from it?
First of all, thank you, Mark and Tomas and Mariana's Press for coming out here and bringing this closer to the. Can we scratch that, Tomas? I'm sorry. Yeah. For coming out and bringing it closer to the homes. Because a lot of folks are not really used to having venues like this. Come out to venues like this. This is very different from the other times that we see this public public common education. I kind of like that they had several ways to provide your comment and have people, to access people that can help you. But I still believe that we need to get it more into the villages, down to to our local folks in the villages. As you can see, the faces, we all meet up each other and you can see the very familiar faces, right? We're really not seeing the folks in the village. So how we're going to do that, we probably need to, share this in the comments as to making sure that maybe go to the community centers or partner with the schools, partner with, the local, like the municipal council, or the mayor's office and the schools basically, because each village has schools from elementary to middle school to high school, and get the parents to and the students, the students that are high school students and the college students to come and voice their concern, and maybe also work with some of the professional people that we have in the colleges and the high schools to look at the EIS and read it and partition it out, and so we can have it more in a layman term to make it more palatable, to our community. Because there's a lot of information, a lot of things, and a lot of, a lot of concerns there, especially from the no action, and then there's alternative one, which is 15% increase of, of course, people, and that means activities. And then the alternative two is only 5%, and similarly, and I'm very concerned with, I heard the mayor was talking about, the noise. Some people in Tinian were talking about the folks in Tinian are talking about the noise, in the schools and also in the community, and also, opportunities there, both employment and business. At the same time, I'm very concerned. As you can see, my first route around yesterday was observation, and today I actually go and talk to, the guys that are specialized in their field. So the first area was the noise. I feel that's very important because the noise affects also the biological lives, like the birds and all that, and the water and the kind of bomb that they're going to, and bullets that they're going to be using. Those are very concerning because, as you know, at one time, the Marianas is 6th highest cancer rate per capita. And in Tinian, there's a lot of folks that are, afflicted with cancer. My husband is one. We lost many of our families in Tinian to cancer, and I'm very concerned about the waste from as a result of these activities. So we want to get as clear information as possible, so that I can also share this. When I go to the villages and talk to people, or people ask me, and of course I have my comment to submit regarding all of what's going on here. And public access, like I said, is very important. Our life is farming and fishing, and we also have our traditional sites there that we go. And I had just shared that I was in Tinian, and I was very disappointed because one of the sites, and one of the things is that they're supposed to maintain, and unfortunately they didn't maintain Masalok. I was there, the grass I had to rent a huge truck to be able to go in and go to the settlement site. At the time when it was not active, the mayor was doing a great job. They were cleaning that. It was very accessible, but not from the last time I was there. And those are very important because those are also fishing area, But they also shared that, and I asked a question about, even where the most active part that they're trying to make sure that those sites are accessible, to the community, and especially the fishermen and the community when they need to go get medicine or, go fishing, or also to visit our sacred sites. So those are some of the concerns. At the same time, we want to make sure that we keep an eye, and I urge you guys too, to take piece by piece on all of the sites, the things that they're presenting, and maybe have like a segment, and we'll go through every segment so we can give our community, because we have up until August 20 to submit, and maybe we can help in that area. I'd be more than happy to, share as much information on what I've learned here, and I will be coming out, I'm going to write up something, and I also will share my comments, with the community. But if there's anything that, I'm just an advocate, but I care, even though we don't live every day in Tinian. Tinian is our ancestral island, and don't get me wrong, I was sharing with them that the Northfield side is the southern side of Saipan, right? So, that's the schools, and they left out one school. So Dandan Elementary is not there. They have to include that, and the villages there, all the villages that are there that they listed. We need to talk about the noise and the mitigation of the noise. So when I talk about mitigation, the community in Tinian, how are they going to mitigate, and this was brought up also, like the glass for the, to make sure that it's noise and soundproof, but also tempered, right? Tempered glasses. Yeah, because we all experienced this in the past, where a jet boom, broke off the college's, the college's glasses. My house, and also some ear thing with my boy, but and these are concerned on a personal experience. So we gotta be mindful to read and understand every part of the recommendation that they're asking, with the alternatives from the existing, the no action, which is what they're using right now, and what the alternative 1 and alternative 2 that they're proposing. So technically, alternative 1 is 15%, and alternative 2 is 5%. So we need to kind of digest this out to the public,
And speaking about the deadline, do you think the 75 days is enough?
No. It's not. I know it's been 10 years, but that's why I'm trying to share with, the leadership here that it's important to bring this down to the villages. When I say villages, the schools, the community. Within all this time, I think we need, frankly speaking, we need a little bit more time and coordinate with the local, the municipal council, the mayor, like I said, the public school system. And the schools are opening in August, so that would not leave a good time for the students and the parents to understand, and participate in the opinion process. I know Tinian too, the students are out on vacation and the teachers are probably traveling elsewhere. And so maybe, a little bit more time is very important, because this is a decision that's going to affect us for the next 20 years, and so we have to make sure that we provide the best comment in order for the professionals, the experts, to put a good report to submit to the Department of Defense. And we all know we support. We are United States citizens. We signed an agreement, which is the covenant 50 years ago, and we want to do our part in our end, but at the same time we also want to make sure that they're also their end is also met.
You spoke with the protesters a while ago. Can you share what you said?
I support. I'm a person that supports First Amendment, and for many years, you've seen me going up the legislature and public, venues, and it's very important to have our opinions and our voices heard. I'm a supporter of that. The only thing that I, because of the venue that they chose, right? This is like a hollowed, and a lot of us, there's a lot of us, and we're asking questions because this is the way way that they set up the venue. So when you're asking questions and trying to get, and these are critical information that we have to understand, when they're making that noise, it's hollowing up, so we cannot basically hear each other. So you just have to shout out to talk, to understand. And so, I asked the leader, and I said this yesterday too, is if she could, not, and yesterday was it's almost towards the end, so that was great. But this was, almost at the beginning. And I asked if they can, they can do it outside or just actually no. I said, if they wanted to shout, they can do it outside the door because the noise is not there. But or they could just put the sign up, and the sign is clear. The message are there. You can convey, and pictures paint 1,000 words, right? So all those, and I'm sure you guys counted. And don't get me wrong. They have to be respected. Everybody's opinion have to be respected. And equally, they have the right to be here to voice their concern and share their piece. But it's the wrong kind of protest for a venue like this, is what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you, Liana. Anything else you want to say?
I just want to, lastly, I just wanted to please encourage, all the people, our community to please take time. If you think, August 20, 75 days is not enough, just, go get one of those papers, write it, and, send it in, give it to the mayor to help you or any in the community. But share your concern and voice yourself, write it, have somebody, get your comment in because it's very important. This is going to affect us. This decision will be a 20 years decision, so we need to make sure that we have our voice heard and be placed into the record, the records of decision, into the Federal Register. And I want to thank you, Marianas Press, for having this venue, to make sure that our community are engaged.
Thank you very much.
This is Marianas Press, journalism by journalists, with you at the center as we cover the news and sports stories here at home and across the region. Fact-driven, multimedia, truthful coverage.
What is your vision? Where are the limitations? Where are the boundaries?
Online at marianaspress.com, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and WhatsApp as it happens.
I'm out of here. I'm sorry, I'm out. I don't want to tolerate this thing anymore. This is too much.
We ask the hard questions.
Some say
our economy
it's an instant gratification to us.
We practice responsible journalism, taking local coverage to new heights, powered by you. This is Marianas Press, where every voice finds its story.